Well, Rado, I imagine it's been a pretty exciting, happy week in the camp this week. You've got a few more Socceroos in your team now in the form of Geordie Boss and Aidan O'Neill getting their first call up. So what was the boys' reaction when they all heard the news and were able to get around them?
Yeah, they were very happy, and I think both of them fully deserved the call up, and there were a lot of congratulations. And I think, yeah, you're right, the week has been quite exciting and quite good from that point of view. Obviously, we are still missing quite a few boys that are injured. So we are sad for them, and sad that some of them will miss on the national team experience, especially to play here in Melbourne in front of their families and friends. But yeah, it is what it is, and hopefully we should be able to start getting some of them back after the FIFA break.
Well, looking at the team that has been submitted, you do get some names back. They're not veterans, but Raphael's back from international duty. Max Caputo promoted. I don't know, he's had some issues with his knee, but he seems to be in the frame. Do you figure they might see some minutes now on the weekends just because they have more bodies coming back?
Probably not. We do have some issues with them, and at the moment we still don't know how it's going to look like. But probably, if I need to, let you know right now, I would say very unlikely. They are still not cleared 100%. Max had a concussion, and there's still a little bit of headaches and sore neck. So we still, are not 100% clear with him. With Rafa, he's still got a little pain in his knee, so we're still waiting to see how that's going to pan out by later this afternoon. But yeah, at the moment, it doesn't look like any of them will be ready to help us. But they should all be okay for the following game. And then, we've got Jets, Melbourne, Victory, and Wellington in quick succession. So we're going to need as many new bodies as possible because, at the moment, we're going to have just same starting 11. Looks like for trip to Sydney.
Is that why Jamie's been named in your side to take on Macarthur, even though he's going to miss the Socceroos series, because you just really need him to get through one more game before he can rest through the international break?
Yes, correct. Yes, and look, he's been playing through pain and playing through pain, but it has affected him. This week he's been obviously we are looking after him, so he's not training every day, he's not doing every practice. Today he did everything and he looks quite sharp, so hopefully we could give him a little bit time off, maybe a week after the Macarthur game, and then start preparing him for the next 3 games. And when I spoke to Brian, he did say that maybe this is what he needs to fully recover from that fracture, and then finish off the season with us, and then focus on the qualifiers for the Socceroos.
And Thomas Lamb out with suspension. How does that affect what you're going to be looking to do in the back four?
Well, Nuno's coming back. He's been out. He had a concussion, so he's now coming back. He's fully fit and ready to train and play. So we just need to see how long he can last. Fingers crossed he can go for 90 minutes. But it's going to be quite tough conditions over there. I think the game has been pushed backwards because of the hot weather. But yeah, we should have some defensive cover on the bench just in case.
In terms of going up to face Macarthur, I think probably your last game against Macarthur, that big win, probably the best performance from this side in your tenure, if you don't mind me saying, from my perspective at least. How do you back that up against them on their turf now?
I wouldn't say that was our best performance. I think it was just the biggest win. We scored, I think, 3 goals towards the end of the game when the game opened up. from controlling the game. I don't think that we were as dominant as what we were in some other games. We exposed some of their weaknesses at the back line in that game, and we managed to score a lot of goals. But yeah, we will obviously we looked at that game. We looked what worked and what we need to improve. We still don't know how they're going to play, what structure they're going to have. Against Central Coast Mariners, it looked like they played with diamond midfield and two up front. Will they do the same or will they change? I think they got a couple of suspension on top of what they had in the past. So you kind of hope that you're going to get it right how they're going to play, but then when you rock up and they show your lineup, then it's, oh, we got it wrong. They're playing completely different way. But yeah, the game will be probably won in transition moments, and who controls the transition moments better. They scored a beautiful goal in transition moments against I think Brisbane Roar. It was a very nice goal, and then they scored a very good goal from across against Central Coast Mariners. So they are still very dangerous. They got still very good players, and if we are not serious, they can really hurt you.
Obviously, in that last game against Macarthur, Richard van der Ven scored a hat trick. He'll miss this game with that calf injury, and he's an important figure for you in transition with his role in the midfield. How do you go about replacing his impact in a game like this?
Look, like we got Andy coming in this game, and obviously he did really well against Brisbane on the weekend, and we hope that he can continue to make those penetrating runs. And very important is that our fullbacks contribute in our mini game, playing in those wide areas, and if they can contribute the way they did so far, then we are not going to miss Richard that much. But yeah, definitely, especially against them, he was in outstanding form. And shame that he's missing this game, and he's going to miss several games, unfortunately.
And you mentioned before this game's been pushed back to 7 p.m. on the Sunday because of the heat. Does that affect your build-up at all? Will you look to fly up a little later, or is it just a couple of hours, no real changes?
No, look, we booked our flights well in advance, so we can't change that. The only thing that we can change is, when we are flying back. Originally, we were flying back after the game. We were flying back on Sunday evening. Now we just changed the flight back to Monday morning, and we may give them an extra day off throughout the week because of that. So, we will try to recharge their batteries, mentally and physically. Give them a few days off before we gather back with a smaller number of players. Our academy players will play. I think they got game on Friday, so we're going to have just maybe 8-9 players training on Friday, Saturday, following Friday and Saturday, and then we'll have a bigger numbers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, starting to prepare for Newcastle Jets until all the boys come back from the international duties towards the end of the week.
Do you feel like this international break's coming really at the perfect time for you, given that you've got so many players out with injuries or players that are playing through the pain, that they get an extra week off now?
Yeah, when you look from that point of view, yes. But then you look like, from the point of view that we got so many players traveling away from us. And then you don't know how many training sessions they will do. You don't know how many minutes they're going to play. You don't know what conditions they're going to come back. And we will only have a few days to get them ready for, 3 games in quick succession. So from that point of view, it is not the perfect scenarios, because we really didn't need this game against Melbourne Victory midweek. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's concentrate first on Macarthur, and then we'll worry about the next 3 games.